Let's transpose our 5 shapes that we now know for G major and E minor. Let's transpose those to all 12 keys. We want to have equally strong access to all the notes of whatever key we're using in all positions of the bass. If you look at the patterns, there are really only 3 shapes within the pattern. One is 1-4, a minor third, and then there is the shape of a whole step, which is either finger 2-4 or 1-3. If you have the patterns under your belt, you also know, as I've been stressing throughout the course, you also know where the root is. You know where the major root is, and you know where the minor root is. Now all we need to do is port those shapes where I know where the root is, and then the pattern unfolds, right? We need to port that into all 12 keys. So if I know my root is under my second finger, I know what to do, because you've trained your hand to do that, and kinesthetic memory is very powerful and very fast and very automatic. So if I know my root is here, I know where to go. If I know my root is here, I know where to go. So you've trained yourself to do that. So now when we put it in all 12 keys, all we need to do is find the right root under the finger where I'm going to play it. Finding notes is totally other class, is a totally other course, but let me just show you a quick exercise how you can sort of check your memory, how you're doing with this. When you're practicing your notes, I call this exercise the note finder. You want to go up string by string. So going in octaves doesn't count, okay? Let's say I'm going to do this example in D flat. I'm going to find my D flat on the E string, and I'm going to find my D flat on the A string, my D flat on the D string, and my D flat on the G string, okay? And the jumps that you will be making will always be either 5 or 7 frets. The strings are 5 or 7 frets depending on which way you look at them, offset from each other. So all we need to do is find, you know, which way I'm going. If I'm doing that, for example, in G, this is my 3rd fret. If I go up here, that's +7. Now I'm on the 10th fret. 10 minus 5 puts me right here. Now 5 here can go either way. 5 minus 5 puts me on the open string. 5 plus 7 puts me up here on the octave. Okay? So the distances you are jumping are either 5 or 7 frets, depending whether you go up or down. So just a quick aside how to find the notes. But now let's go back to the patterns and let's practice them in a different key and really look at, rather than thinking which pattern am I playing, let's think of where is my root and let the pattern unfold from there. So let's, as an example, use B flat, and a good finger to start for major is the middle finger. So all I'm going to do is put my middle finger on each possible B flat that I have on the bass, and then see what pattern unfolds without thinking about what pattern unfolds, but just letting my kinesthetic memory do its thing. So here we go. We're starting on the E string with my second finger, because that's the assignment right now. And what unfolds, of course, is pattern 1. Now, I'm not going to go to this B flat here on the A string just because I'm going to be dealing with open strings and such, so I want to avoid that, going up the octave right here to my 13th fret. And what unfolds is pattern 5. Now what happens on the D string? Pattern 2. Now on the G string, there's a bit of an exception. Watch what happens if I put my root on the G string. I'm going to go down just fine, but here I'm going to run into a snag because this is pattern 6 and I want to be like right here. So if I start, let me start with my second finger, or my first finger rather, and then walk down, and there you go. So the first thing to remember is when you want to play a major pentatonic, great finger to start with on all strings is the second finger. The pattern will unfold if you have it under your belt. The one exception, when you're up on the G string, think that you're not going to go up. If I had a 6 string, then I would go up this way, so it would work. But on the 4th string, just remember on the top string you want to use your 1st string. Gives you pattern 6. All right, so a good finger to start with is the 2nd finger. Now another good finger to start with for the major shapes is the pinky. So let me start here on the E string with my pinky, and what I get is pattern 6 down here. All right, my pinky here gives me big box, little box. Pinky on the D string. Oh, there's my pattern 1 again, right? Some of them will come around. And then how about here? Perfect, gives me pattern 5. All right, so again to repeat, find your root under the middle finger and you will know what to do. Find your note under the pinky finger and the patterns will unfold. For major, the 2nd finger or the 4th finger, and you will find the pattern. Now obviously we have to do this also for minor. Good starting fingers for minor are the 1st finger. So let's start now. For B flat major goes with G minor. So let's start with the 1st finger on the E string, and that gives me pattern 6. Now what happens if I have my G right here? I happen to be in this area. I want to play G minor. There we go. Big box, little box. How about up here? Oh, that's pattern 1, right? How about up here? That gives you little box, big box. So the 1st finger for minor works every time on every string. So a great finger to think about when you need to go to minor. How about the pinky? Let's take a look. Works on the first 2 strings. So if I have my pinky on my root, gives me little box, big box. Now here, that gives me the boot. But now watch what happens if I'm on the G string. That's not working out. So for the upper 2 strings, I need to use my ring finger to pop me into the shape, okay? And the same is also true for the G string. That gives me big box, little box, okay? So the takeaway is, if you are in a pinch, use the 1st finger to find the root of your minor, let the pattern unfold. For the major, use the 2nd finger or the pinky finger and let the pattern unfold. And I have included handouts show you 2 other keys, C major and A minor, as well as F major and D minor. So another thing, of course, you can do, like we practiced G major up the fretboard, you know, one pattern after the other. You can do that with C major, F major, you know, all the keys, go through the cycle, throw a dice, a key a day, you know, and you can practice the keys that way. I really recommend you get comfortable in all sorts of keys, because music happens in 12 keys equally well, although guitarists and bass players are sometimes guilty of playing everything in E, funk in E, and so forth. But you want to be fit in all keys, and yeah, hopefully I've inspired you a little bit to explore this further.